right. There we go. And we're live. Okay, good. So, tonight we continue with some Christmas stories. But first, we'll read God Gave Us Christmas. And let's actually turn the camera a little bit so you're not getting so much wall here. And like that. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So, you want me to pull your toesies before we start? Pulling toesies. Let's crack a toe. Okay, let's do. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy had roast beef. And this little piggy had none. And this little piggy went wee all the way home. On a plain crossy road. All right. God Gave Us Christmas. This is a new one that we got recently. We haven't read this one yet. It's very exciting. I love this series. Oh, the artwork is different too. Cool. Okay. Oh, they made little ginger bears instead of gingerbread men. Yeah, it's cute. Mama, little cub asked one night, who invented Christmas? Was it Santa? No, Mama Bear said, God invented Christmas. God gave us Christmas. Is God more important than Santa? Oh, yes, much more important, Mama said with a smile. Yes? What? No, I don't wanna. Touch your own junk. The next morning, little cub sleepily climbed into her lap. Can we go find Santa, Mama? He lives around here someplace, I think. Santa is hard to find, said Mama. But we can go find God. God is everywhere. Yahoo, little cub, cried little cub. I didn't know we could find God. Oh, yes, Mama said. We can always find God. Little cub looked over her shoulder and whispered, can we leave them at home? Yes, Papa will watch the little ones. You and I can go alone. Because she's got twin siblings. We will go find God. I will see how he gave us Christmas. Yes, little cub. You shall see how God gave us Christmas. The next morning, little cub and Mama filled their packs, kissed their family goodbye, and set off to find God and see how he gave them Christmas. They walked to the top of one mountain that is adorably covered with otters and sleds and little, like, Christmassy Santa hats. And down the next. Another sled with otters. And up another mountain where they set up camp. Little cub was so tired that she went right to sleep. But Mama nudged her in while it was still dark. Mama, why are you waking me up? Because it's God, little cub. Come see. What is that? Little cub asked in wonder as she watched the dancing lights in the sky. That is God at work, little cub. They're looking at the northern lights. He sent his only son as a baby so that we would know light from dark. Jesus is the light of the world. Jesus is how God gave us Christmas. The next day they arrived at a huge lake. All at once, with a mighty roar, a chunk of ice cut away from the cliff and fell into the sea. What is that? The little cub cried, covering her ears and leaning into Mama. That is God, little cub. He's so powerful, he can command the water to freeze and the glacier to melt. He is mightier than any king on earth. And because he is all powerful, he made Jesus king of all kings. But Jesus was just a baby. How could he be a king? All kings begin as babies. God knew we would need someone we could touch and see and smell. Mama paused to sniff little cub's neck, making her giggle, to understand just how much he loved each one of us. Mama awoke little cub again before the sun came up. She pointed to the east, at a star that changed from green to red to green again, and shot out in many points. Is it God again? Little cub asked, rubbing her eyes. Yes, Jesus is called the bright morning star. He is always with us. And he first came when God gave us Christmas. But what about Santa, little cub asked? Did God give us Santa? Santa Claus reminds us about many good things like generosity and care. But it is God and Jesus that we celebrate most come Christmas. We always want to thank God for giving us Christmas. On the way home, Mama Bear stopped by a tiny flower picking up from the hard frozen ground. Oh, you are too early, little flower, she said. Little cub, Jesus is like this flower, God in our world, living where you wouldn't expect him, surprising us. Christmas is a lot about surprises. Like presents. Yes, Jesus is the best present of all. And God would have given us that present even if it was only for you. Only for me. Only for you, little cub. God gave you Christmas. Mom and little cub came upon a church glowing with warm light. Soft voices reached out to them singing. What are they singing, Mama? About the night God first gave us Christmas, when Jesus was born. Tomorrow's Christmas Day. Would Jesus have come for mean old Maggie the Moose or grumpy old Frankie the Fox? Little cub whispered. Maggie, Frankie, any of us. Jesus is a present for everyone, grumpy or happy, mean or kind. God gave us all Christmas. Little cub was glad to be back at home that night in her cozy bed. Thanks for showing me God, Mama. There isn't anything I'd rather do, sweet child, she said with a kiss. Night, night. Little cub went to sleep and dreamed of bright stars and northern lights, of a king born as a tiny baby, angels singing over him. And woke up to Christmas. Yahoo, she cried. God gave us Christmas again. What do you think about that one? Pretty good? All right. So now let's get into our Christmas stories. Let's see, where are we today? We are at Cutting the Christmas Tree. An extract from Peter and Polly in Winter by Rosa Lucia. Traditionally, in America, Christmas trees were decorated with strings of popcorn, which sounds very cool but very hard to do. I don't know if I'd be able to do it because I'd eat all the popcorn. It was nearly Christmas. Peter could not wait for the day to come. He kept saying, Mother, will it be Christmas tomorrow? Will it be Christmas tomorrow? At last, Father said, Do you want Christmas before I get the tree? No, said Peter. But will you ever get the tree? I will today. You and Polly may go with me. We will choose the prettiest fir tree we can find. Put on your things. We will start now. Oh, goody, goody, cried Peter, jumping up and down. Now I know that Christmas is almost here. It will be here tomorrow, said Father. Run and tell Polly. They went through the field at the back of the house. They climbed over the stone wall post office. We must find a strong tree, my boy. Can you see one like that? That one, said Peter. Father laughed. That is a strong tree, but it's too tall. We should have to cut a hole in the ceiling to stand it up. Find a smaller one. There's a good tree. See how pretty it is? It looks like our little firs at home. I believe that is just right for us, Polly. I will cut it down. Please hold my coat. Father swung his axe. He gave 3 sharp blows. But all at once there was a loud chattering above. In the next tree, Gray Squirrel was running up a large branch. He was scolding with all his might. His tail was jerking. He looked very cross. Well, old fellow, said Father, did I disturb you? I am sorry. Go back to sleep. We will not take your tree. His is too bare, isn't it? Father, the leaves have all gone. We must have a fir tree for ours. It has queer leaves, but they do not fall off in the winter. That is why we call such trees evergreens, Polly. They are always green. Pine trees are evergreens too. Their needles are longer than fir trees. Soon father had cut down the fir. He put it over his shoulder, and the end dragged on the snow. Now we are ready for home, he said. Tonight mother and I will dress this tree. Tomorrow you may see it. Have you really a dress for it? Asked Peter. I hope it is red. Who made it? Oh, Peter, how silly you are. Father means dress it up with candy bags and popcorn and presents. I know now, said Peter. Ponies and guns and things. See the snow sparkle, children? The sun makes it do that. Look at the blue sky. Doesn't the air feel good to you? It makes me feel like running, said Polly, excited. Then run along, chicks. You will get home first. Tell mother that the Christmas tree is really coming. You may pop the corn this afternoon. When Peter and Polly got home, they ran into the house. Mother, mother, they shouted. The Christmas tree is coming. Father has it. My mother, said Polly. What makes the house smell so sweet? For it smells just like the woods. It is the green wreaths, Polly. I have them in all the rooms. There is one on the front door, too. These wreaths smell better than the ones that we buy. You may help me make the rest of them. We need more. So the children went into the kitchen. On a table were pieces of evergreen boughs. They helped their mother twist the pieces into circles. On each circle she wound many small twigs. When done, the wreaths were firm and thick and green. How good it does smell, Mother. I like Christmas smells. But see my hands? That is the pitch from the evergreens, Polly. Just rub on a little butter. It will take off the pitch. Then wash your hands in warm water. I will clean up the rest of the greens. When this is done, we will pop our corn. That was always fun. Polly liked to shake the popper. She liked to see the white kernels of corn hop up and down. She liked the good smell, too. Soon 2 large panfuls were popped. Then came another task. The corn must be strung. Polly and Peter both helped, but of course Mother could string much faster than they. She told them stories while they worked. Now, children, the giveaway box is ready. You may choose your things to give away. On the floor in the dining room, there was a large box. It was filled with games, dolls, bags of candy, and popped corn, and many other things. These were for Peter and Polly to give away. They would make other children happy, and that would make Peter and Polly happy too. Peter chose a jumping jack for Tim. Polly chose to give him a whistle. He could not whistle with his mouth yet, Polly said. Perhaps Polly will come for this whistle. When Polly was out of the room, Peter chose a present for her. It was the prettiest doll they had ever seen. Polly chose a train of cars for Peter, but he did not know that. We could give this candlestick to Mrs. White, said Polly. I think she would like it. Then Mother said, why don't you give the hot water bag to Grandmother? Her bag leaks. Oh, we will, cried both children. There is my teacher, said Peter. I will give her these marbles. Your teacher? You don't go to school, Peter, Polly said. I did one day, said Peter. I like her. She was good to me. She is my teacher. I don't care what you say. Never mind about that, chicks, said Mother. I'm afraid she hasn't a pocket for the marbles. Why don't you give her the box of handkerchiefs? Before long, the giveaway box was empty. Presents were tied up. Every friend in the village had been remembered. Peter and Polly were tired. They were glad when it was bedtime. As Mother tucked her up, Polly said, I like the giveaway box. It is fun. It is as much fun as it is to get things. You gave it to us, Mother. You give us everything. Father, too, said Mother. And it makes fathers and mothers happy to do that. Little Roger's Night in the Church by Susan Coolidge. It was Christmas Eve. Little Roger sat in his grandparents' house eating his supper. Grandfather had gone to the church to put the fire in order for the night, lock up the doors, and make all safe. Suddenly, Grandma exclaimed, Oh, dearie me, Grandfather has gone off and forgot his keys. Would you be afraid, little one, to run up with him? Not a bit, said Roger. I'll take him down in a minute and then run home. So after a good night hug from Granny, off he ran. The church was near and the moonlight as day, so he never thought of being afraid. Grandfather was stooping to cover the fire for the night. He was so busy, he never knew Roger was there till he jingled the keys in his ear, but he laughed, well pleased. I only just missed them, he said. You're a good boy to fetch them up. Are you going home with me tonight? No, I'm going to sleep at my mother's, said Roger. But I'll wait and walk with you, grandfather. So he slipped into a pew and sat down until the work should be finished. And as he looked up, he saw all at once how beautiful the old church was looking. The moon outside was streaming in so brightly that you hardly missed the sun. Roger could see all the way up to the carved beams of the roof and trace the figures on the great arched windows over the altar. To study the roof better, Roger thought he would lie flat on the cushion a while and look straight up. So he arranged himself comfortably, and somehow, it will happen even when we are full of enjoyment and pleasure, his eyes shut. And the first thing he knew, he was rubbing them open again, only a minute afterward, as it seemed. But grandfather was gone. There was the stove closed for the night. The great door was shut. Roger jumped up in a fright, as you can imagine. He ran to the door and shook it hard. No, it was locked, and he was shut in for the night. He understood it all in that moment. The tall pew had hidden him from sight. Grandfather had thought he had gone home. His mother would think that he was at the other cottage. No one would miss him, and there was no chance of being let out before morning. Roger was only 6 years old, so no wonder that at first he felt frightened. But he was a brave lad, and that idea soon left him. He began to think that he was not badly off. After all, the church was warm, the pew cushion as soft as his bed. No one could get in to harm him. In fact, after the first moment, there was something so exciting and adventurous in the idea of spending the night in such a place that he was almost glad the accident had happened. So he went back to the pew and tried to go to sleep again. Roger had heard the clock strike 11 a long time since. He was lying with eyes half shut, gazing at the red fire grate, and feeling at last a little drowsy, when all at once a strange rush seemed to come to him in the air, like a cool, clear wind blowing through the church. Just at this moment, the church clock began to strike 12. Roger listened to the deep notes. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It was Christmas Day. As the last echo died away, a new sound took its place. From far off came the babble of tiny voices drawing nearer. Then the church bells began to ring all together. A chime, a Christmas chime. Only the sounds were as if baby hands had laid hold on the ropes. Almost before he knew it, Roger was climbing the dark belfry stairs as fast as his feet could carry him. Higher and higher. At last he gained the belfry. There hung the 4 great bells. Nobody was pulling at their heavy ropes. On each iron tongue was perched a fairy. On the ropes clustered others, all swaying to and fro. They floated in and out of the tower. They mounted the great bells and sat atop in swarms, then chased and pushed each other, playing all sorts of pranks. How long the sight lasted, Roger could not tell. But all at once there came a strain of music in the air, solemn and sweeter than ever mortal heard before. In a moment the fairies left their sports, flew from the tower in one sparkling drift, and were gone, leaving Roger alone. And then he felt afraid, which he had not been as long as the fairies were there. And down he ran in a fright into the church again. The red glow of the fire was good to feel, for he was shivering with cold and excitement. But hardly had he regained his old seat when a great marvel came to pass. The wide window over the altar swung open, and a train of angels slowly floated through. Christmas angels, faces of calm, glorious beauty, and robes as white as snow. Excuse me. Over the altar they hovered, and a wonderful song rose and filled the church. The words were few, but again and again and again they came. Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. Then the white-robed choir parted, and floated like soft summer clouds to and fro in the church, pausing here and there as in blessing. They touched the leaves of the Christmas greenery as they passed, They hung over the organ and brushed the keys with their wings. A long time they clustered above the benches as if to leave a fragrance in the air, and then, noiseless as a cloud, they floated to the window. For one moment their figures could be seen against the sky, and the song died away. They were gone, and Roger saw them no more. You can guess Grandfather's surprise when his little grandson ran to meet him with his wonderful story when he opened the church. He took the boy home to the cottage, and Granny speedily prepared a breakfast for her darling after his adventure. But Roger would go on telling of angels and fairies till both grandparents began to think him bewitched. Perhaps he was, for to this day he persists in the story. And though the villagers that morning exclaimed that at no time had their old church looked so beautiful before, and though the organ set forth rarer, sweeter music than fingers had ever drawn from it, still nobody believed a word of it. Roger had dreamed it all, they said. All right. Let's finish. Yeah, we're in there for tonight. You can read that last little one of that section tomorrow. All right, mister. It is bedtime. Okay. So, what do you say about getting all snuggy bugged, huh? And now do it. All right. Boy. All right. Sure to step on toys here. All right, guys. We will see you tomorrow with more Christmas stories. Hey, buddy. Oh, look at those eyes. Those are tired eyes. All right, I need to get him into bed. So, good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.